welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and today I want to show you my pantry essential guide. As I just mentioned, today I want to show you my pantry essentials. So these are items that I like to keep in the cupboard in case of emergencies, but there are also things that I like to store in the cupboard that we have on a regular basis, and these are things I like to store in my cupboard that actually keep in the cupboard as well. So I thought I'd show you. I was having a refill of some of the jars and I thought that this would make a really great video for you. So here is my pantry essential guide. So the first things that I really like to keep in my cupboard are carbohydrates, so dry carbohydrates. So things like pasta and rice are really great. I especially like to keep brown rice. We normally eat brown rice more than we do white rice. And I also like to keep quinoa in the cupboard as well. Quinoa is like a grain. Well, it's not a grain, but it is a grain. I won't go there, but yes, we also like to keep quinoa in there. And I sometimes turn quinoa into flour and I'll make that into breads and things. And I have a lot of recipes on my blog, Googie's Kitchen Life, which I will link down below, that show you how to make those sorts of breads. So if you are interested, please go check that out. I also like to keep porridge oats as well. I have gluten-free porridge oats because I'm gluten intolerant, and they actually grow gluten-free oats in a separate field from other wheat products, so that's why they're gluten-free. So I like to keep those in the cupboard as well, and I make cakes as well as porridge from gluten-free oats as well. And again, I have a lot of recipes on my blog, so please go check that out. The next item I really like to store in my cupboard are nuts and seeds. So I like storing cashew nuts, pecans. We also have almonds as well occasionally. Pecans I normally turn into cakes or crumbles, which is quite a favourite in this house. Crumble made with pecans, that's a really big hit in this house, I have to say. And cashew nuts. As well as sweet foods, I also like to use cashew nut cream cheese in some of my recipes. And I think I've done a recipe on my channel, which I will link in the description box below if you are interested in cashew nut cream cheese. If there's someone in your household who can't have cheese, like me, I can't eat that much of it, then cashew nut cream cheese is a brilliant alternative. As I said, I also like to keep seeds in there as well. Seeds are full of fibre and goodness for the body, and they help to store, they help to keep you fuller for longer. So I will often put cashew nuts, chia seeds in porridge, and I'll put pumpkin seeds in porridge as well. I also use chia seeds in pancakes sometimes, and I use pumpkin seeds in porridge and pancakes as well. They're a great filler, those. And then the next items that I really like to store are beans and legumes, especially white beans. White beans are packed full of fibre and protein and make a great meat substitute as well. So beans, like cannellini beans, butter beans are brilliant. Chickpeas are really good. Also like to keep lentils as well. Lentils are a great one to keep in the cupboard, and they're really filling as well. I'm actually making a vegan shepherd's pie this evening with some lentils, so we're really looking forward to that. And chickpea flour is another great alternative to flour. So if you can't get any flour at the moment, then chickpea flour is a great alternative. It's great for making cakes. I make Chickpea Yorkies, which is Yorkshire pudding with chickpea flour. It doesn't exactly turn out like a Yorkshire pudding, but they are still delicious with a roast dinner, and that recipe I will link in the description box below too for you. So yes, chickpea flour and beans and legumes I love to keep in my pantry. And then the next products, food items that I really like to keep are tin tomatoes. Now I know these have been in short supply, but we did do a run recently to Costco and we picked ourselves up a few in there. So I always like to keep them in the cupboard. Even before the virus outbreak, I like to store tin tomatoes because they always come in handy. If you need like a quick pasta sauce, then tin tomatoes are great for making making a tomato sauce. And also coconut cream is another brilliant one to store in the cupboard if you're making a curry and you need coconut milk, then that's brilliant to keep in there. Curries and coconut milk, and they're great fillers as well. They're good for filling you up and things. And milks. So I like to keep oat milk and coconut milk. I sometimes have hemp seed milk as well. I can't eat a lot of dairy or milk, so these are brilliant for me, and I do like to store these in my cupboard. I also use these for porridge in the morning, and I make pancakes out of these. I will put them in cakes, and I also use them in savoury foods as well sometimes. So when I'm making cashew nut cream cheese, which I mentioned earlier, I will put oat milk into the cashew nuts, and that will help to soak them overnight. So yes, I love those. In terms of sauces and making things tastier, I often use tamari, which is like soya sauce, but it's fermented for longer and it's gluten free. It's more expensive than soya sauce, but it tastes just like soya sauce. And if you are gluten intolerant and looking for an alternative, this is a brilliant one. I picked this up in my local supermarket. As I said, it's slightly more expensive than soya sauce, but I think it's a brilliant alternative, and I don't use too much of it or too often either. And then herbs and spices are also a great way to jazz up a meal, make it a bit tastier. So I keep a lot of herbs and spices in my cupboard. If you've seen inside my pantry, you will know there's a whole shelf of herbs and spices. I absolutely love them. I always keep dried mixed herbs. I've also started to recently keep garlic granules and onion granules as well. So garlic granules are really great for jazzing up a meal. If you can't be bothered to cut up a garlic clove like me sometimes, I will just throw some of this in. I also make chickpea flour wraps, and I will often put garlic granules into the chickpea flour wraps to make it just that little bit tastier. And I've just recently discovered onion granules as well. And the thing I like to do with both of these, I will have eggs in the morning for breakfast, and I will fry up some spinach to go with those eggs, and then I'll put a little bit of onion granules and garlic granules on the spinach. Oh my god, it tastes delicious. It's so nice. And then I also like to keep spices as well. So I have a lot of spices in the cupboard, but I've just pulled out two of my favourites. So I've got ginger and I've got cinnamon here as well. And these are great for like cakes and biscuits. They're also great for savoury foods as well. I often use cinnamon in my porridge in the morning or in my pancakes as well. I think these are brilliant spices. There's loads of spices out there that you can use to jazz up your meals, make them tastier. And then the final thing that I like to keep, I don't normally store these in the pantry, I have to admit, but I do buy these in bulk and I do store them in the fridge, are dates, prunes and apricots as well. So if you fancy something sweet but you don't want something like a chocolate bar, then these are a great alternative, and I like storing these in my fridge. My son will often ask for dates and prunes after a dinner as well, which I think is great. They're actually great for lowering your blood sugar as well. So if you want something sweet after dinner, then dried fruit is probably one of the best things to have, just that little bit something sweet after dinner. So yes, that is my pantry essentials. So that's my pantry essentials, and all of the recipes I've mentioned in this video I will link in the description box below for you. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. Do you like storing certain foods in your pantry, and what foods do you like storing? I'd love to know, and please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.